Tonight you will defend in that cage against Shane McMahon. Big Shane is a pussy chant all of a sudden. Shane, your role, know it. Triple H, your mouth, shut it. Vince, your mama's anus, lick it. Stephanie, your dirty panties, wear it. The Rock says, just bring it. It's the night after Backlash. Welcome to Tales from the Attitude.
How come you can't ever go woo? It has to be then now you're doing Ric Flair.
Well, you can't do woo. You can do woo. Or woo.
Can you? I don't know. That second one sounded more flary than the first
I guess you could do ow.
Yeah, well, and remember that Sting. Sting is, I love that.
Oh, yeah, it's true. It's true.
You can't go woo, so Sting went, ow. Like, all right. Can't go. I've said the guys, I can't hear you because you can't do that. That's mine. Can't say it's true. It's true. That's fucking angle, dummy. God, you're just a walking gimmick infringement.
And you're a walking encyclopedia. That's Tommy Blacha, everyone, former writer of WWE.
Oh, nice segue.
I'm Rob Pasbani of thestunner.com. Here, we recap every episode of WWF, WWE in 2000, of which Tommy had a hand in creating. You run the writing team. Now, last week we talked about
So is that
Backlash.
a reference to the Mae Young's hand? Had a hand
unintentionally, but yes.
Well, all right, okay.
Last week we reviewed Backlash, which was a great show, maybe the best pay-per-view of 2000.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. I guess there's SummerSlam and Armageddon I really liked later in the year with the Hell in a Cell, but we'll get to those eventually. But what I wanted to, we kind of sped through the main event a little bit, I feel. I wanted to ask, before we start with this Raw the next night, what was it like backstage with Austin back? Like, what was he in good spirits? Was he happy to be? Did you get a chance to say hi to him or anything like that? Do you remember anything?
No, just the usual. Like, there he is and saying hi to everyone. Good spirits.
Soft handshakes.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of man, that's on the way out a little bit, even at that point. Yeah, nothing. I always hate to demystify it, but oh yeah, there he is. Everyone's doing their shit, and it wasn't Austin's here or anything, because it wasn't really a match or anything. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a lot of he's back, and which agent is he working with, and we're gonna go through the match, and what is he gonna do, and this, that, and the other thing, and people are looking to see the match. It was just a spot, so it was you just be casual. Hey, how's it going? And, show up at his own room, and, there's camaraderie, but it wasn't the backstages were so big and so much going on that it wasn't it wasn't at the production meeting and what have you. So there,
Gotcha.
That's my lame answer to that. but truthful.
Another question I wanted to ask is, this Raw, was this written after the pay-per-view last night, or are you writing the pay-per-view Raw kind of at the same time?
As usual, you have potential things where you think you could go, and then you always, which I think this is again a broken record, but I think when it works best is when you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants and you look at what happened and you react to that, because you might have ideas that come out of matches, and matches suck, and those get squished. Some interaction happens, and then you kind of go from there. You know what I mean? You really look at it, even the Hebner stuff. It's not there was so few of us doing it. We just you kind of would meet, and say, do a little post-mortem after the show, and we got to do something with Hebner because that went great, and then okay, yeah, and then as you're meeting the next day in the morning, whatever, for breakfast or something in Vince's room, how about this with Hebner? How about that? It becomes obvious you have to involve Hebner, and so you kind of have your running ideas. Now it's the Hebner thing would have been flat, or Vince, let's end that there. Then it's over. You got to come up with other stuff. So it's a rotating round robin of these ideas that are always in flux. It's not here's what's written, and here nothing is written in stone. It's written on a yellow legal pad with a pencil and an eraser. So You know what I mean? You just kind of have those things. And when you're rolling, it's, it's like a football team. It's like, oh, these plays worked, so let's keep doing these. These didn't. Let's not do this. Let's go into this direction. Oh, our linebacker's hurt. We got to scheme something this way, so you're scheming things all the time, and you have these directions in mind, often, sometimes not at all. And then sometimes it's just like, for this in particular, a lot of it becomes, I don't want to say things suffer, but a lot of things are like, okay, what about the ending? What are we doing with, the big match? And especially when this match has a lot of moving parts, other things like, yeah, book this, okay, Brian Christopher's back. A lot of things are, I don't want to say they're booked willy-nilly, but, there's a big concentration on always like, we need the big payoff with the big players. And that makes sense, because that's
so
really,
you spend most of the time on the main event program, and then the rest, whatever you have time for, essentially.
frankly, you spend all your time appeasing Vince, what he wants,
I see.
and so
right.
if for one reason it's like, oh, we got it set, then worry about this. But for the most part, and again, it's the machine, so those guys are peeling off, figuring all that out. And sometimes then you're left to, do everything else and just try to make, every other thing work, like throwing people like, oh, here's some announcer lines, or here's this, and oh, Edge and Christian are gonna be on yeah, that's cool, and someone has an idea for this, and oh, the pose, and oh, it's funny if they always say they're going to do a run-in. That's kind of destroying that trope, which I always loved, that like, is something you didn't see that's weirdly fresh. We're like, yeah, we're gonna do a run-in, that's our cue. So you're just talking with everyone about it. You're trying to enhance all the stuff that's just booked basically, I would say, so that would be like my role a lot, producing stuff, watchdog stuff, making sure, hey, everything, is enhance it as best you can.
And you're really lucked out this week because this crowd was hot. They were hungry. They wanted everything. So you didn't really have to work too hard to get them.
How dare you?
I just mean they were very willing participants. And this was a smart crowd too, and I'll talk about why in a little bit.
And it's always like that after a great pay-per-view.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And there's a
99% of the crowd watched Raw and was like, oh, and we're set.
Yeah.
Or I mean, watched the pay-per-view.
The pay-per-view.
Like,
Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a big angle with The Rock finally winning. I mean, he's been chasing now for months and months. So I could see why. And I like also, we're in Baltimore at the Baltimore Arena. I'm not sure it's still called the Baltimore Arena here on this May 1st, 2000 edition.
I wonder if
it's
it's
the
still
CFG Bank Arena now.
Is it the same one? It was a shithole. Different arenas are weird. We're like, I'm like, I don't remember Austin doing this or that, being around. This arena in particular didn't have like, it's odd. It doesn't have like a big sports locker room. It wasn't an arena that had a hockey team or a basketball team that played there. So they had all these weird individual, almost like dressing rooms with individual showers. That it was really like, it was one of the more odd arenas like that. So it was very disjointed. So you came in and like, oh, cafeteria over here, which is a small, catering, which was in a small room too. Like everything was small and weird. And it was very much like it was different than most all arenas as far as people often being like, oh, here's just the huge gathering place. Here's the monitor. Everyone's standing there. Here's catering with a bunch of tables. People sit and talk. And, this really helped answer why, no one was interacting as much. Yeah. The Baltimore shithole arena.
I did notice too that behind the Titantron, typically there's like curtains or whatever. It was just a wall that the production crew like threw some lighting on to make it like not look weird, but it really stood out to me because usually I feel like there's like maroon or black curtains behind the Titantron, so you don't see like the back of the arena, but not in this one.
Yeah. It's a small, weird arena.
I liked also that you kicked this off with a match. Edge and Christian kick off the show. They don't come out through the crowd. They come out through the entrance ramp, and they're here for commentary. Then the Dudleys come out. As they're coming out, we get a recap of their match at Backlash with stills. You don't see the video footage. You see stills of Bubba grabbing Trish, putting her through a table. Good way
You
to
got to
push
pay for the
pay-per-view.
video footage. You got to pay for the pay-per-view.
This was one of the things you were pushing hard for the show, so it makes sense. Ross says that Trish is convalescing. And Edge and Christian are on commentary. And I like that they refer to TNA as T and A as opposed to Test and Albert. Like they would say, Edge at one point went, that T is really showing a lot of real potential, stuff like that. And like you mentioned, they teased that they would be doing a run-in during this match on commentary. It's interesting because I feel like Edge and Christian were the first ones. I want to say they were the first ones to really start doing like meta comedy in wrestling, like commenting on tropes on air, with this and the 5-second pose. I can't really think of anyone that like kind of broke the wall like that before them.
Well, I think
intentionally,
it's kind of happened concurrently, maybe, because even like The Rock with Jabroni and certain things.
That's true.
It's not meta, so to speak, but it's there is kind of like some of that leaked through, and even with just like teasing a little, like, oh, they're using that lingo, and it was it's the rise of the smart mark. Which is like
that they're evolving their characters to be smart marks, and they're very much positioning themselves as heels this episode. It's very clear that this is a heel turn that they're doing, and it's good, and also they needed it.
It's a weird, wrestling always reacts to what people want, so the crowds were weird because it was like a lot of like smart marks and people really liking that behind the scene, and but also there's a little sadness to it. It's the like, I wouldn't say like kayfabe just didn't like end. They kind of like just fizzled and dissolved away into something else, that old school good kayfabe, so that's kind of sad, but that's just my perspective.
It's good. I like this turn from Edge and Christian. Edge is clearly a little more out of his shell than Christian. Christian's still a little quiet on commentary, while Edge is just like so excited to have mic time and show off his personality. I think Gewurz actually talks about this in his book, that he was kind of pushing for this too, and like pushing, like writing for them to the point that he got heat that he was writing too much for them. right. That like they were accusing him of favoritism or something.
Yeah, well, you got to remember too. Part of that is it was just fun for people to fuck with Gewurz. I think to rebel, us other the boys, just like because he's just like hard worker who wants to get them over whatever, and just like that's the nature of wrestling too. Oh, someone's getting over, let's like fucking rib a part of it, or what have you. So
Edge and Christian say the Dudleys look like the Bushwhackers, which is a solid burn.
Yeah.
with the camo. And they reveal they have an open challenge for later tonight. Anyone in the back, it can't be a team they've already beaten, since they've already beaten the entire tag division, is their line. So it's a good tease on who could it possibly be. The crowd isn't quite paying attention to the match. All they want is tables. All they keep asking for is tables. And eventually the Dudleys hit a 3D on test, as Edge and Christian says. And then, as they promised, Edge distracts the ref. Christian runs in, hits an unprettier on Devon, throws Test over Devon, and gives T&A the win over the Dudleys.
And they think that, what did they say? There's our cue. Right. It's just fun. Like, oh, they had it planned.
And so I guess based on tonight, it looks like you're maybe angling to a fatal 4-way at Judgment Day. I haven't seen the card for Judgment Day yet, so I'm not sure. And also with the Iron Man match, you don't
card
really
was
need
out
too many
25 years ago.
Yeah. I haven't looked. I don't want to spoil it for myself. I like going week to week. Then backstage, we see that the McMahon-Helmsley regime is headed to the ring. They look very beat up. Triple H is in a sling. X-Pac has bandages on his head from the hard way cut with the bell. Everyone looks very serious. Now, is Triple H, did he actually separated his shoulder in the match, right? Like, I believe that's a legitimate injury.
Yeah, I think, when you grade 1, 2, 3 separation. So I don't think it wasn't a surgical repair, which usually a separation isn't. But
I see.
Yeah.
And then we see after the break, the Baltimore Orioles are in the crowd. One of them both of them have very attractive women with them. And Lawler goes, "Who's that with Scott Erickson?" And Ross goes, "That's his wife." What? So that was pretty fun. And then the McMahon-Helmsley regime come out, and I have to say this is the first time since this angle has been going on where I'm like, I don't know, do we need to see another promo from these people? Like I instinctively wanted to switch over to Nitro because it's just like, oh, it's going to be long and they're not really going to say anything.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I sometimes I would try to suggest or angle the fact that if they came out like just to be a little bit more like, yeah, but it's us again. I know, you hate us, and I know what but that you're gonna have to just that kind of stuff instead of I was getting a little dull instead of saying like we're this and we're it is a good thing. It's like I'm proud of my husband. Just wanted to like I don't know, develop them as a little more heelish instead of doing the same thing a little over and over with something, and then in retrospect or whatever, it was getting a little a little stale because like while she's good and should have leaned more into the the facials because fucking Vince, he can do the same shit over and over and over and it just works. And he can come out and just do the same thing, which is like, you boo, you shut up. It's like people, oh, we're getting under his skin. He fucking says it, his face, and it's, there's a fucking knack to that, and you really like, so then you start getting into like, oh, what are you writing? Is it the words or whatever? It's like, no, you got to keep like tweaking that kind of thing. And, that was one thing I felt like, you're right. It started to get like there's a fine line between like, oh, these assholes again. God, I fucking hate. Oh, look how fucking pompous. I love hating them. To oh, these assholes again. This is a little long. I want to switch over, see what's happening on Nitro. You know what I mean? And like you just said, so yep, that's
because it's like whatever they say in this, we're going to hear it again throughout the rest of the show. So you don't have to watch it live. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be recapped. It's going to be whatever it is. They're setting up the main event.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, whatever.
And it's difficult because the structure is important and what they are is important in the sense of like, oh, fuck this family. And now this they're all in fuck cahoots and they're fucking running shit. And these are the fucking assholes that we're supposed to hate. But you got, like Vince has that knack. You enjoy hating him. He's so he's a wildly entertaining while you hate him, and you're like simultaneously like cracking up, enjoying, and hating. And Triple H doesn't have that. So when it gets too long, like,
I did like so first of all, the crowd is so hot for The Rock here. They're chanting for The Rock immediately. Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. Triple H has an amazing line to kick this off. I have to give him credit. He goes, it must eat The Rock up that he couldn't get the job done all by himself, which like the last 3 months, Triple H hasn't been getting the job done by himself. He needed the whole regime to help him retain the title. So when he finally gets a taste of his own medicine, very, very Trumpian. You can see why he's so tight with the MAGA folks. Right. He goes, it took The Rock, Steve Austin, Linda McMahon, and that piece of crap, Earl Hebner, to screw me out of being champ. Triple H offers some advice. Enjoy it. Shine it up and revel because you're on borrowed time. As he's talking, to my point on how the crowd is bored with him, they're not even paying attention to him. They start chanting. And this is how I knew this was a smart crowd. They start chanting, she's a crack whore. And Stephanie McMahon, possibly the most vile wrestling chant, which 100% started in ECW. So I'm not saying everyone in Baltimore watched ECW, but enough watched it to start the chant. And then everyone else in the very classy town of Baltimore thought it was so funny that they joined in on it.
Well, it's that crowd mentality,
Yeah.
It's like riots. So, oh, what's happening? Who knows? Is it, I always wonder, was it a select 3 or 4 weirdo nerd smart marks. But we're gonna start this chant and get it going, and then and then they were consistent, and then people just joined in, and I know.
Great. He said even if he has a separated shoulder, first chance he gets, he's taking back the world title. I feel like it's only a matter of time till the corporation screws out the McMahon-Helmsley regime, I should say, screws the Rock. Stephanie takes the mic immediately. Massive slut chance. Like, she is so over as a heel. It's the combination of being a heel and the natural misogyny of these teen WWE wrestling fans that apexes into this perfect heat for her. Big slut chant. And then as she starts talking, now an even louder she's a crack whore chant, to the point that Lawler has to acknowledge it, being like, what are they chanting? What are they saying?
It's pretty good. Well, I don't know, natural misogyny. It's hard to argue that, but also, remember, it is a big thing of like rich people, daddy's princess. That's a big.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big part
to
of it
defend people and what we tried to lean into. It's like, oh, it's that big fucking family, and she got everything she wanted all the fucking time.
Yeah. That's true. That is it's a very kind of Paris Hilton vibe with her. Before Paris Hilton, and she really doesn't say anything. She just says she loves her husband, blah blah blah. Like they just gave her the mic for the heat. Then Vince takes the mic. They're still chanting slut, 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 or whatever. And he, like you said, he just goes, shut up.
Yeah.
So good. So good. He lets everyone know.
I think she missed a little opportunity there to go a little off script and bonkers at the crowd.
Right. She could have riled them up even more, like Vicky Guerrero, kind of like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You show me some respect. I am your women's champion, stuff like that. Right. So Vince took the heat, letting everyone know Austin would not be there tonight. And I think this is so important. And it really comes through, because I don't think the crowd really believed him, because they started chanting for Austin in the main event. But he says Austin's not here to be scheduled to be here tonight. And I promise you, I guarantee you, what will happen will be far worse than any hit and run driver could do if he shows up. He never showed up. Then, in a bit of a interesting retrospective here, he says, as far as my wife, Linda, I was always a great husband. I never laid a finger on her. And he goes, a few weeks ago, Triple H said he was trying to scare Linda and wouldn't actually pedigree her, but not me, Linda, implying if she showed up, Vince was going to hit her, or maybe shit on her. I don't know.
or pedigree her.
Or pedigree her. You're right. Yeah. Vince guarantees WWE history will be made tonight, and it will be made within that very steel cage. And it's revealed that there's a cage here tonight.
Yep.
And I have to say, I did kind of roll my eyes a little initially. I'm like, oh my God, another cage gimmick. But I absolutely understand why it was used. It was a great storyline device for tonight. We'll talk about it a little later.
Yeah, it's always fun when you go live to the arena and you see that cage up there, like, oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's dramatic. It's funny because it lowers and everyone's like, oh my God. And then, ultimately you're sitting, it's like, oh, actually I see worse. And
yeah. There was a big pop when he said that, and then it lowered a little bit. And I like that it was kind of halfway down the whole night as a taunt. Like, what could this possibly be?
Yeah.
Then we go backstage. Crash Holly arrives. The parking lot attendant is giving him a ton of shit and tells me he has to get out of the car. And then the attendant tries to attack him. Crash escapes and throws him in the trunk of his car.
Pretty good.
Too Cool is back.
Fun.
Oh, yeah, no, that was fun. Too Cool is back. Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty reunited. It's interesting. You waited until after the pay-per-view to reunite them. Let Scotty have his singles match with Malenko, which some say was the best match of the night. So this was good. The crowd was very hot for Too Cool.
Best scientific match of the night. Best scientific match of the night.
Right. The work rate match of the night.
Yeah.
As I like to call it. The main event was the best match. You're right. But they're super over, and this injury almost kind of extended the life of Too Cool, because it almost seems fresh again that they're back together.
Yeah.
It's been a month since we've seen them. They take on the Hardys. Again, Jeff Hardy is so fun to watch during this era. He'll throw in a beautiful springboard moonsault just like in the middle of a match. In general, I realize the middle of the card right now is full of very good work. Like there's so many great work rate guys that it's brought up the quality of all the action compared to like around Survivor Series time or whatever, you know, because just everyone is so good.
Yeah, everyone's the roster is like it's crazy. It's Hall of Fame roster.
Yeah. And interesting, the story of the match was there is constant miscommunication between the Hardys. Scotty teases the worm. They don't give it to you right away. So then when they finally give it to you, the crowd just explodes. And now Lawler is trying to get over spelling out the worm as Scotty hops around. The crowd isn't quite saying it yet, but it's very interesting to watch and see how like the live crowd is clearly watching the show every week, because in like a week or two, they will start chanting WORM.
Right.
Scotty hits the worm. People are on their feet for the worm. Like this is like a big, I was blown away. Like everyone started standing up. A bit of miscommunication by the Hardys, and then Too Cool win the match. Backstage, Vince asks the Stooges to do him a favor. Bring him Earl Hebner. And Gerald Briscoe asks, do you want him in a box or a silver platter? Just bring him to me.
Yeah.
After the break, Vince calls Earl a sniveling piece of shit, which gets bleeped out. This was a very cinematic scene of him just chewing out Hebner, being like, who do you think you are? You know, you cost my family the title. Earl says he just wanted his job. And Vince says, just stay out of my business.
Maybe that was part of it. It's never really like so calculated. It's just like, well, let's have the Stooges back. They're always there anyway. And for me, it would be kind of like, what do you think? And I'd be like, oh, I'm a complete mark for Patterson and Briscoe, along for everything with Vince. So just, and from not only enjoying it, but from honestly, just, I don't know, all their experience, what have you. Nothing ever falls apart. To me, it's always like weirdly old school entertaining. Those guys involved with everything. And then just Briscoe, who's been this guy who's been behind the scenes at so much stuff, and then he just like, okay, I get it. What, Mr. McMahon? And like, he just plays like it's just it all works for me. I just said to them, like, I have no perspective. Don't even go by what I say. I'm just a mark for it. To a fault. I'd be like, yeah, they should be in the beginning, middle, and end of every show. I don't,
One thing that blew my mind is in this era, Briscoe and Patterson are the same age that Edge is currently, and Edge is an active performer. These guys were like long retired, it's a totally different era.
Well, it's that weird aesthetic. Although Briscoe could have kicked anyone's ass then, probably still can. So don't let looks deceive you. And also, it's like I look at my my dad's high school yearbooks from the early 40s, and like, what the fuck? Everyone looked like they were 50. It's like an aesthetic thing. So,
and to your point that the show might have been a little thrown together, we get Jackie and the Cat versus Terri and Ivory. This is the first time we've seen Jackie or Ivory in like 2 months on the show, since maybe Mania. And also this match really exposes Terri and the Cat just have no wrestling ability. Like they could really do is cat fight. Cat does like a very basic body slam on Terri. Terri takes the bump very rough. Like, so they're very limited in what they can do, but they're the two most over people in the match. Also, this match was kind of a way to promote the new edition of Raw magazine with 5 covers. It was like the WWE version of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
Yeah.
Very basic match that eventually the story of the finish is Cat has a pin on Terri and Ivory interferes to try to switch the pin. Then the referee kind of shoos her out of the ring, and as the referee is shooing her out, Jackie comes in and does the exact same thing, switching the people, and so Cat and Jackie get the win. It was fine.
It's fine. It's fun. Retrospect, smart marks. Well, I don't know about this, that, and the other. And you got to remember, like, there's plenty of hours of these shows. And like you pointed out, this was to help sell magazines. That's the bottom line. Selling shit, ice cream bars, figures, and what have you. And that was like a big deal then. Like now, like magazines don't exist, but like, oh yeah, Chyna and the Playboy and this, like, it's all set, ready to go. Multiple covers, collectors, good piece of business, as JR would say.
Backstage, everyone, the McMahon-Helmsley regime is in their locker room. X-Pac is mad that Christian busted him open. He wants revenge. Vince says, not tonight. I want you to defend my honor. I'm sorry. I want you to defend the honor of my daughter.
Are you getting broken up over this, Rob?
I'm burping up. I want you to defend the honor of my
daughter.
My daughter. Oh my, he just cares about his daughter. I want you to defend the honor of my daughter after what Chris Jericho said to her. I want you to face him and make easy work of him. And then as everyone leaves, it's just Stephanie and Vincent, and Stephanie's like so touched, and they have this like, again, very awkward interaction where Stephanie gives Vince a peck on the lips, and it's gross. It's gross. I don't know. I don't get it, but whatever. Different time.
Well, damn, I don't know. Different. Yeah, I don't know.
I got to do.
I don't know if that helps or hurts. Yeah. What are you talking about? Maybe you're the perverted one, Pasbani.
Maybe. You're right.
Pasbani's afraid of incest.
Then we have X-Pac versus Jericho. This is fun. I like watching these two guys work together. They're really, really good. And, at the top of their game, both of them. Jericho gets some mic time before the match. Welcome to Raw is Jericho. I feel bad for you, X-Pac, for having to defend Stephanie's honor. For her, honor means jump on her and stay on her. Ew. And then he goes, let's spell that word. And then he spells it wrong. He spells it Honer. It's Honor. Well, and he goes, well, she's half of that. She's a filthy, disgusting.
So he's trying to say on her, but it's all messed up. Who gives a shit?
I see. I see.
No, you see, but you don't see because I don't see either.
I don't know.
If that was the attempt, it still was weird. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just
He basically says, well, she's a filthy, disgusting hoe instead of honor.
That is understood. Yeah.
And everyone pops for that. Fun match, like I said. Jericho has the match won with a lion salt. Terri gets on the apron.
Wait a minute. I just realized what he was supposed to do. That probably. I never even realized. He was supposed to say, let's spell honor Onher.
Oh. I see.
But he fucked up.
But then how would he do the hoe joke? Because she's only half of honor, which is hoe, like hoe. He wants to get to hoe from honor.
Yeah.
This analysis. How do we get to hoe? How do we get to hoe?
What a dig down. Again, I say, cut to the camera. Rabid fans, young Rob Pasbani, finger to his lips. Something's not right here.
That's not how you spell honor.
Gets swallowed out by the crowd.
I said, well, it's okay.
Say, huh?
It's okay because Jericho's Canadian, but like they speak English in Canada. That's no excuse.
Yeah.
Fun. So Jericho has a match one with the lion salt. Terri gets on the apron. Jericho does a springboard kick to Terri to knock her off the apron. At this point, X-Pac's bandage has fallen off. He's just bleeding everywhere again. He hits a Bronco Buster. Earl is trying to tell him to get out of the corner, that's illegal. X-Pac gets in Earl's face. Earl Hebner shoves down X-Pac and DQs him. Road Dogg runs down. He gets in Earl's face, and Earl shoves down Road Dogg as well. All the refs come down to separate it. You spent a lot of time getting Earl Hebner over this episode. Get a lot of heat on the ref.
Why not? He's got he's got legendary status.
It's true.
From the Montreal screw job to the twins to he's a huge. I would argue to say he is the most famous over storyline referee in professional wrestling history.
That's fair.
So there.
All right. Fine.
Yeah, I know you're a big Danny Davis guy, but I'm telling you, it's Earl
I'm
Hebner.
a Joey Morella fan, personally. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
It's the top of the hour. Rock comes out in his iconic cow skin leather vest. so over, easily the most over guy on the show. Looks like $1 million with the world title. He just looks great. He just looks like the top guy. He is the top guy, like he fits the role. Finally, The Rock is WWF champion. Huge Rocky chants. Rock said he guaranteed he would win, and he delivered. He also made sure to thank Stone Cold. And again, Rock clarifies Austin is not here. You're telegraphing as hard as possible. Like, don't expect Austin. He's not here. He says, Steve, I know you're in Texas. Beer in one hand, beer in another hand. And The Rock just wants to say, thank you. And for the McMahon-Helmsley consortium or whatever, this is a great little moment. He goes, Shane, your role, know it. Triple H, your mouth, shut it. Vince, your mama's anus, lick it. Stephanie, your dirty panties, wear it. When he got to the dirty panties, the crowd just like, so lost their shit. It was great. Vintage The Rock, as Michael Cole would say. And he says, whatever you want to do to The Rock, whatever surprises you have for The Rock says, just bring it. Perfect promo from The Rock. Couldn't expect anything else.
Just a merry-go-round of catchphrases and just like all. It's unbelievable because usually people can't do that. Be like, and here's one, and you've peaked, and now here's another one. Just like it just grew.
Yeah. Vince comes out. He's like pissed. Big asshole chant. This is where I wrote, like, this crowd is the best. Like, just everything you would, however you would want the crowd to react, they're reacting, and then some. Like, you're getting everything you need out of them. They're such a great third character in this episode.
Yeah.
And Vince says, I said tonight WWF history would be made, and it will be, because Rock, you will have the shortest reign in history. Now, that's already not true, because Yokozuna had the shortest reign in history at like 3 minutes. And it's been far longer than 3 minutes now. So come on, Vince. Know your history.
Yeah. Cut to crowd. Everyone cheering. A young Rob Pasbani. Excuse me. That's not true. That's not true.
At WrestleMania
That's
9. Actually, it was only a few years ago. It was about 7 years ago. He says, tonight you will defend in that cage against Shane McMahon. And he says, Shane doesn't have to make you submit or pin you. Big Shane is a pussy chant all of a sudden. And then Vince acknowledges and says, if you think that tonight, he's going to be the champion. Boo! How dare you? And I like that in the background, you see Triple H not happy about this. Very like, what's going, like, huh? Like, I'm the champ. Like, I should be the next champ. Why is Shane getting the shot? And Rock ends the segment by saying tonight is going to be the longest night in Shane McMahon's life if you smell what The Rock is cooking. So great way to set up the main event at the top of the hour. Like at the top of the first hour, you're teasing what's the main event going to be? How crazy? Like what's going on with this cage? Right. Top of the second hour, the main event is going to be in the cage. It's The Rock, and he has all these odds stacked against him. He just won the title. Is he going to lose it? And I have to say, not remembering how this goes, there was a part of me that was like, oh no, are they going to just fucking take it off of him already? like I definitely got caught up in the Markism.
Sure. Yeah, because that's the, even when he said, which we both agreed that WrestleMania was bad. Like, oh gosh, missed opportunity. In retrospect, he should have won it there. It kind of was a bad WrestleMania. But every time you always felt, which I think is good, even if something's bad or whatever, then it's like, oh well, how can you use that to your advantage? And one of the advantages is like, hey, these fuckers will do anything. So you do feel like that, like, oh
yeah.
They you never know. And there's so many hours of a week of original programming that it was always kind of out there. Like, yeah, you know what? And that's the ethos. No one should be a mark for the belt. And at any time, just do something fucked up, especially when things are going strong, because you don't want to be predictable, but you want to give them what they want. It's that balance. But yeah, so good. Even smart mark young Rob Pasbani, like, what's going to happen, says his friend, pointing over to the smart mark. Buddy, I don't know. Probably not, but maybe.
Edge and Christian are out, and once again, they come through the entrance ramp. He says, fans may have noticed we haven't done the mysterious coming through the crowd thing. He says since they've won the tag team titles, it's become a bit too much. which I like that. They're like, their heads have blown up now that they're champions. And then this is, I can't believe this is the first time we get, for the benefit of those with flash photography, we'll pose for you fans. This is proto 5-second pose. And they do the pose. Not really much of a reaction. He says, if there's any teams back there that want a shot, let us know. The Too Cool music hits. Sorry.
Such a weird phrase, flash photography. I remember just, part of it was talking about, in the 70s, whatever, when you'd see certain things, like everyone would have the disposable cameras, or they'd have flash cubes. And when Evel Knievel would do a jump, certain events, would happen, or even boxing, when someone would go down, you'd see just the flash from the whole arena.
Wrestling, especially, yeah.
Yeah. But also in especially Evel Knievel, because and there's the moment everyone wanted to get the picture, and the whole place would light up. But it's preposterous because the flash it only, flashes up so many feet in front of you. So people were in all the upper tiers, why are you using flash cubes? It doesn't help. You know what I mean? So it was always like a weird thing. So to call it flash photography, just one of those odd things that got over, that caught on.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I really miss in wrestling, is when a big move would happen, you just see all the flash bulbs go off. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, so it's a weird excitement that's gone. Yeah.
If there's any teams in the back that want a shot, let us know. We hear the Too Cool music, and Rikishi immediately comes out, so you don't think it's Too Cool again. And he has a partner, and it's Show-kishi. It's Big Show dressed as Rikishi. He's got the blonde wig. He's got a blonde Fu Manchu mustache, and he's wearing the sumo diaper. You see Big Show's buns out. It's an interesting match because Show is dominating both tag team champions. Both champions kind of look like scrubs compared to Show. Eventually, Edge grabs the ring bell, hits Show. And so Teddy Long calls for the bell, but there's no bell to ring because Edge and Christian stole it. Still, it's a disqualification. Show and Kishi try to set up a double bonsai, but Edge and Christian run off, only for Road Dogg and X-Pac to attack Edge and Christian and throw them back into the ring for a cheek-to-cheek double stink face. Big pop for that. And then,
now, that is the non-cleanest finish you could possibly have, but I would argue, did you really want a clean finish in this match? Who cares? Look at the levels of excitement and weirdness. Let's see.
Well, I will say,
Smart Mark Rod Pasbani, clean finish. Smart Mark Rod Pasbani has to say about that.
This one was fine because you're getting Edge and Christian over as heels. This is their kind of first match as heels, and they're overwhelmed. They talk so much shit that they're in trouble. So it totally makes sense, this non-clean finish. And also you're setting up this 4-way feud. I assume it's a 4-way feud with X-Pac and Road Dogg. And you got Show and Rikishi over. My complaint about this one is you did a second dance break. It felt a little repetitive to have the 2 dance breaks with Too Cool earlier in the show and Show and Rikishi here. But the other side of that is, both times the crowd popped big. So who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I to say?
Yeah. What was the decibels on that second crowd pop? Was it inferior?
No.
Yeah.
It was not. So yeah, I can't really talk. But no, I didn't have a problem with this one.
Did you see Pasbani brought that up at the production meeting about the dance breaks, even though the crowd went over, and then the next week he just wasn't there anymore. Huh.
Yeah.
What happened?
Triple H is backstage with Stephanie. He doesn't understand that's his title. And Stephanie says, maybe Dad just wants to see who the better man is. Oh, I skipped it earlier. There was a segment where Triple H was telling Shane, hey, Shane, that's my belt. And Shane was like, well, as long as it's in the family, right? It doesn't matter. And he's like, it does matter to me. I like that Triple H is the one guy in this that doesn't quite get it. Lita and Essa Rios come out. Lita's wearing the torn up prom dress that she ripped off of Chyna the night before. Looked so great. This looks so awesome. And I want to say, I feel like Eddie Guerrero did as good a job as possible getting Essa Rios over in this program, because I'm these are great matches.
Oh yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, this is another example of just like really good work rate. Now here, when you go back to the pay-per-view, you show the full you don't show stills. You show the footage of Chyna getting stripped down to her bra and panties. And Lawler said, Chyna never looked finer, which is great. And then Chyna and Eddie Guerrero come out, and she's wearing this wonderful leather piece. And honestly, it's just as revealing as her bra and panties the night before. So it's not like we haven't seen Chyna like this. It's just, I guess, because it's actual bra and panties as opposed to like some leather bondage outfit.
Of course. Yeah. I know.
Otherwise, it's like her tits and her ass are just as out as they were the night before. Should I not say tits? Is that a little?
You're fine.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, great match. Eddie once again did that whirly bird neck breaker thing that he did the night before at the pay-per-view, except this time this was the finish. And so he wins the match, and afterwards, it's like a repeat of the night before, but in reverse, where Chyna attacks Lita and strips Lita of the prom dress. And now Lita's the one covering up her bra and panties, and Essa is covering her up. And Lawler's going, woo!
Yep. Why not? Perfect. Great. Little short.
Yeah.
I don't know if something else was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could have been someone's long promo. See if you can guess who exactly that is. Say no more.
Then we got Taz in the ring, and I like that you're giving Taz Mike. Before this, we have Earl Hebner backstage. We have Earl Hebner trying to drink some coffee, and Tori comes over and slips is like reaching across him and makes him spill his coffee on him, and he's like, "What the hell?" And she's like, "Oh, it's just an accident." Just to show that DX is not cool with Earl Hebner.
Yeah.
We have Taz in the ring. Before I get to this, we get a plug for Mick Foley on a series called Now and Again this week, and I never even heard of this. It was a CBS series. After a subway accident, a man awakens with his brain in a new body, but the successful experiment means he must give up his past and family. The only notable star of this was Dennis Haysbert from the Allstate commercials. Brutal.
From the Allstate commercials of 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah, I guess he's not even in those anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, big stars. The show lasted one season.
Wow, I don't remember this at all. Like, I blew past this. Like, wow. What is it called again?
Now and Again.
Now and Again. What a title.
Yes. You would never think it's about a man like in a new body.
Yeah.
But whatever. So it's Taz. He has the mic. I like that this is now the second week in a row Taz gets a little mic time. He says, Chris Benoit, you got that pout on your face like the world owes you something. Take that puss off your face. I'll brighten your mood because the mood is about to change. Try to get this new catchphrase over.
Yeah, try to shove it down your throat. I don't want any more. Just Well, you know what? I didn't like that because it's like, oh, you're pouting. Well, I'll make you smile by beating your ass. Like it doesn't work.
It didn't quite make sense.
And also, well, catchphrases, it's like the good ones you catch on. It's so hard to pound it. And you needed, I think, arguably to start it with like, well, so-and-so's in a good mood after this or whatever, and offhandedly say it like, well, his mood's about to change. Oh, instead of like, when you come out and present it huge, there's a tendency to want to shit on it for people. It's like, and here's my catchphrase. You're like, oh, okay, impress me. It doesn't, even like Roman Reigns, believe it. It's like, okay, t-shirts, believe it, but they need to come out of somewhere, Austin 316, just like he said it offhandedly, some weird, that's the hugest one of all time, or, and you got to face it too. Only people like The Rock can be like, here's a catchphrase that's written and contrived and I'm delivering it and you love it and it's huge. Not everyone can fucking do that. You got to have that,
right.
That sense of it.
But,
yeah.
That's a fair point. And so they have a great match too. This is when I realized, like, man, this fucking mid card is great. Like, there's so many good matches on this card. This was like 3 or 4 good matches in a row. And they were doing great. It was a very fun match. All of a sudden, Saturn comes down, and of course, Taz has to turn around and look at him and like challenge him to come in the ring. And then all Benoit does is flip him around, give him a fisherman suplex, and the match is over. This was like my clean finish smart markism, like meter, like no, give me something. This just felt cheap. It felt not cheap, lazy. You know, like I can't think of anything. Just Saturn, turn around, it's done. You know, like there could have been something.
Yeah, I agree. It was almost lazy, bordering on just odd.
Yeah,
you know,
like why would Taz turn around? If Saturn were to come in the ring, the match would have been over. Like Taz would have won. You know, like why is Taz allowing himself to be distracted? He looks like
it wasn't good, because you could argue too. In a way, it's a clean finish.
Mm-hmm.
He just turned around.
Yeah,
wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of it is like, oh, I was distracted. Like, you know, it's Benoit just went over. He suplexed him. So it is a clean. It is a murky, clean finish. You know, it's not like really physical interference, so to speak. You know,
right.
Yeah,
then after Taz rolled out and attacked Saturn, then Hardcore Holly came out and he first suplexed Benoit and then double clothesline Taz and Saturn. So it looks like these 4 are now in a program for the IC title. Shuffling the cards around a little post pay-per-view. But this was very organic too, because like all the 3 of those guys were feuding in the hardcore thing, and you just kind of threw Benoit in the mix a little bit there.
Yeah.
Hebner is backstage giving a pep talk to the refs, and then Triple H walks in and kind of just, you know, bullies all, like stares them all down. Everyone just clears the path because they're all afraid of him. Crash is interviewed backstage by Michael Cole. He's very paranoid. He's looking at around his back, questions Michael Cole if he's going to challenge him. All of a sudden, Blackman attacks him from behind. We get the graphic. The Hardcore Championship is on the line. The real match. And it's very fun. Crash has a long stick of wood that he tries to hit Blackman with, and then Blackman grabs it and just splits it in half. He's so fucking badass. Totally dominates the whole match. At one point, Crash runs into the crowd, and then members of the Baltimore Ravens interfere, and they try to get a pinfall on Crash, which is a fun little moment. And I don't think something that you would really do today necessarily. Like, you'd have to get them to sign some waivers or something.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, they would sign waivers probably. Yeah, you're right. You know, like I don't know. If they do fans now they would win it. They would get a fucking guy. You know,
that's true. Yeah. I guess they did that with the 24/7 title. They just give it to everybody. They gave it to like a reporter in Europe for a minute. I remember, just like for a second. It's main event time. All the McMahon-Helmsley regime comes out. And what the hell is this? Asks Jim Ross. Briscoe and Patterson, they have ref shirts on. Ross was just fucking brutal tonight with Patterson, with hazing Patterson. He goes, Patterson's always bringing up the rear. They have ref shirts. What's that about? And what's so impressive to me about these jokes that Ross does at Patterson's expense is he says them in the same tone as like in the serious announcer voice. He like it's totally deadpan. He never goes like you know, like there's no indication that he's joking. You have to actually listen for him to get that it's a joke.
Well, also it's done right. It's like you're the one thinking weird stuff. He's commenting on how lazy Patterson is. Always bringing up the rear. Yeah. He's always the last one. Always, you know.
Fair. Triple H is in the ring with Shane giving him advice right as the cage is lowering, and he just sneaks out right at the end there. Ross says something is up. Everyone's doing a plan. Rock comes out again, super over. Bell rings, and Patterson tries to... so Patterson is the ref in the ring, and I guess Briscoe's the ref outside the ring. Patterson tries to get in the way of the Rock as Shane tries to quickly run up and escape the cage. Of course, you could win this match with both feet just touching the floor, a WWE
Right.
steel cage rule. The game is Shane keeps trying to sneak out. Rock stops him. At one point, he tries to get out of the door, and Vince tries to pull him out. And then Rock pulls both of them in because Vince holds on. So, like, Vince is all of a sudden in the ring, getting some kicks from the Rock. It was a very funny moment that really popped the crowd. Middle of the match, Triple H has a stick very similar to the stick Crash Holly used, and he starts prodding the Rock with it and stabbing him with it. Eventually, the Rock is able to pull the stick in, and he uses it on Shane and just ragdoll Shane all over the cage. Shane eventually is able to knock the Rock down enough to make it to the very top of the cage. The Rock catches up to him, and from the top rope, the Rock hits Shane with a huge punch that knocks Shane out at the top. He's sitting on the top of the cage, knocked out. As the Rock tries to then climb up to the top of the cage, Patterson holds the Rock and eventually hits him in what Ross calls the people's jewels. Rock is crouched on the ropes. Now, Jim Ross at this point is like yelling, doing his incredulous voice, and just totally deadpan in the middle of all, like, this is unbelievable. This is crazy. A dream come true for Patterson. A low blow. The Rock is in trouble.
Yeah.
So good. And at this point, Patterson climbs up to the top rope and he's just trying to shove Shane over the top so he falls over. I'm dying laughing. This is so good. This is so exciting and cinematic. Rock wakes up.
And ridiculous and hilarious.
Yeah. It's everything. It's this peak attitude era. Rock wakes up, gives Patterson a rock bottom. Patterson's out. Shane is slowly coming to. Rock catches him by his hair. He does the cool thing where his legs are dangling off the side of the cage. Rock pulls him in, and Shane does a flip spot from the top of the cage into the middle of the ring. Crazy spot for a non-wrestler, part-time wrestler to do. That's a big fall. Lands perfectly in position for a people's elbow. Rock tries to walk out of the cage. Briscoe slams the door in his face. Triple H at this point comes in the cage with one arm. He's attacking. At this point, the crowd is rabidly chanting for Steve Austin, but there's no Austin. Everybody keeps looking at the entrance. We want Austin chants. Earl Hebner then comes out. Briscoe shoves him. He shoves him back. Rams him into the cage. He slams the door in Triple H's face. Rock catches Triple H at a rock bottom, and that was enough to allow Rock to climb the cage and make it across. And then Earl went to grab the title, and The Rock wins it. The Rock is able to escape. He runs out. The credits roll. Feels like it could have been. My thing is, like, Earl Hebner is not going to wrestle a match. I don't think. You're putting a lot of heat on Hebner here.
Why not?
But this was a very exciting first night of Rock's title reign. Ultimately.
Yeah, it was great, and tons of weird shenanigans. And these kind of shenanigans, like, as you know, being a clean finish smart marker, you're like, oh, you could be sour on him, and like, what the fuck is this? But when everything, all the timing works, and everyone's so hot, and and even like Earl Hebner, he's just a ref with many decades experience. The timing is the shit that throws everything off or makes it work. And there's all this to put this on paper, to book it like that is like impossible. So it's all just working with the agent. These guys all working it out themselves and being so good. It's all crisp. It's lunacy, but the whole thing, pulled off great. This could have went sour any number of ways. And from the Shane is so smart, I think, because it's so hard to come in to be like, Vince's son. Like, what is he going to do at this point? Come in and be, to impress people as a wrestler. The one thing he could do, huge bumps in selling. And they does a huge bump, and everyone's like, oh, that guy's amazing, great. We love that guy. He's got total respect. He couldn't come in and, deliver some offense and be like, okay, whatever. It's just like,
he did not half-ass it. You gotta give him the credit here.
There's no way to half-ass that bump like that. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're gonna be lazy and then land on your head and break your neck.
To both sides of it a little. Shane does have the benefit of not having to be on the house show loop, not having, like he can take as much time to recover as he wants. So
Sure.
like, that allows him to take these crazy bumps, but that doesn't take away from the fact that like no one really asked him to do these bumps. He's clearly volunteering to do this, and I do give him credit for that. But great episode of Raw, great follow-up to, like, this is the type of episode that will make a person who didn't see the pay-per-view go back and order the replay the next day. Because this wasn't like, nowadays where you could just, stream it whenever you want. It would only be on the Sunday and then the Tuesday again.
Was it a reduced price later or what? I can't remember.
I don't think so. No, I think it's the same.
I don't think so either, yeah.
So yeah, very interesting. Very curious to see. We're on the road to Judgment Day. So it'll be fun to see how things go. And of course, you could always send us some feedback.
I'm just fantasizing that you were the announcer for this pay-per-view, and that's how you were ending it. And Vince would be like, "What the hell are they doing out there?" Well, let's see how things go.
I'm excited.
Week on,
how will the McMahon-Helmsley regime try to stop The Rock on Thursday?
There we go. Yeah.
And please, of course, if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, or what have you, we'd love to hear from you.
Or what have yous.
Send us all your
what have yous.
Yeah.
More what have yous.
TFTAttitudeEra@gmail.com. Also, you could follow us on social media, TFT Attitude Era on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok.
Twitter. X.
I like calling it Twitter.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And thank you for tuning in. That's all for this time. We'll see you next time on Tales from the Attitude Era.